Good morning. This is a review from Friday, August 15th. We had a couple of topics, and I just want to start off with one that we might have touched on, but one I discovered recently that helped clarify something for me. Topic is when we double-click a window, if it maximizes it to take up the entire screen. Here you have Safari, and I'm looking at my start page, and I'm just going to make it a little smaller, quite a bit smaller. And this is what we're calling the menu bar. You got to be careful where you point. Nice empty area here, very tiny. If you double tap with your one finger, it makes it as big as it needs to be. It doesn't take up the full screen. We have a little gap here. If I make it smaller, then again, I move it around, double tap, it makes it as big as it needs to be. Let's go to Wikipedia. I'm in Wikipedia. I'm going to double tap. Made it smaller, as big as it needed to be to read the article. Double tap again, takes it back to the way it was. It's that simple. However, if we look at another application, that was Safari. We're now in the Notes application. Now, if I double tap, it makes it the full screen. That's it. I thought there was something wrong with me or the computer. That's just the nature of the program. That's the way they designed it. So that's it. That's all you need to know. Next point, screen capture. If you recall in class, we did a Shift Command 4, and we get a little bullseye or scope, sniper scope target there. And if we select something, click, it just took a picture and it went to the clipboard, or did it? Let's see if I go over here into Notes and make a little paste here. Nope, because, was it? Let me see. Nope, that's not it. Here's why. That was Command Shift 4. If I do Command Shift 5, this is new. This is new. This gives you a lot of options. And one of those options is where do you want that capture to go to? Margie, you had it set to mail. Now, accidentally, I was playing around before. I had to go someplace else. That's why when I went to notes, you didn't see this picture or this screenshot. If I change it to clipboard, yeah, and I do a capture now, there it is, capture. I go to notes now. I'll make a new note so it's less clutter. And there is what I just did. I'm going back to Wikipedia. I'm going to do Shift F5, Command Shift 5, and it'll stay there until I change it. Now, in Margie's case, she didn't realize it, but it was set to mail. So when she did a capture, and I'll just do it right here, Shift F5, it's all ready to go. I'll just do that. Watch what happens. Capture, it's right to mail. There it is. That was the problem with Margie's screen capture. So let me just summarize this real quick. If you just wanted to go to the clipboard, going back to Wikipedia, do Command Shift 5 one time. Change the option to clipboard all the time. That's where it'll go every single time. So if I do capture now, there it is. It's all ready to go. Take this one, capture, put it somewhere. I don't care where you put it. And there it is. Now, if I go back to Wikipedia, the only thing you have to remember now is Command Shift 4. Because with Command Shift 4, you don't see the menu. Notice the numbers? You didn't see that before. So now, because I already have it set to just go to the clipboard every single time, took the picture, I didn't have to click on anything else. I'll go to Notes. I'll make a new note so you can see a nice clean screen. I'll make it bigger by double tapping. Put in the title. I don't care what it says. And then I'll Command V to paste. There it is. That was it. That was the difference between Command Shift 5, which brings up the menu. Command Shift 5. You pick where you want all your captures to go. I would say 99% of the time, leave it like that. That's all you got to worry about. If it's not showing up when you do a paste, see where it went. Maybe it went to someplace else accidentally. That is it. We'll move on to our next topic. And looking at my reminders, the next thing that was big and people loved was text replacements. What I'm going to do is I'm going to press the escape key. I'm not going to do any more captures. And I'll simply quit Safari. And I'll quit Notes. And we're going to now focus on shortcuts. And I'll quit this one here. Here we go. In System Settings, hit the wrong button there. You are. When you first get into System Settings, you have this list of dozens and dozens of options underneath these. The best way to find our next objective is simply type in text and then REP. You don't have to spell out the whole word rather. Just text REP. There it is. Tap. And this window will open up. Now, there's a good chance you might have a few in there that are given to you by Apple. Maybe TY for thank you. Kind of makes sense. On my way. So what you're seeing on the left-hand column is what you're going to type, and on the right-hand column, what it will spell out. That's all it is. It's a text replacement. So, case in point, I'll put a plus sign here, click on it, and I'll put here Apple Workshop. I think it's already in there. There it is up at the top already. And I'll put here V. That's enough. See what it's already programmed to do it. So that's a bad example. Let's try another example. Hit the plus sign, and I'll put in here, oh, silly, 1, 2, 3. Replace it with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. Bad example, but I'm not having to spell out or type out everything. So I click Add. Maybe I go to Notes. Maybe I make a new note. I give it a title. Blah, blah, blah. I type in 1, 2, 3, and that little pop-up appears. If I want to have it spell out or type out all that, just press the space bar. Here you go. Maybe I want to put here Apple Workshop. There it is. Maybe I want to put my address. There it is. Maybe I want to put my initials. Nothing really worked there. Text replacement saves you a lot of typing. It can be rather lengthy. It doesn't have to be one sentence or several sentences. It can be a whole paragraph. So once again, it's under System Settings. Do a search. A lot to look through. Save yourself some trouble. Text replacements. Fill in the blanks. If you don't want something, let's get rid of it. Click on it once. Hit the minus sign. It's gone. That's it. End of that topic. Next thing we talked about. Opening up my reminders on my other screen here. The slideshow. We had a problem with Barb's slideshow, and I didn't know why, and I still don't understand it. So if I go to photos, and I have all these photos in a beautiful church yesterday up in Durham, took a lot of pictures of some stained glass, kind of fun stuff. Murals, a new mural, by the way, love murals. They're all over Durham. But the key point here was we in class made a slideshow, and it goes down to the word project. Now, Marissa, you didn't have any slideshows. You didn't have any projects. So until you make a project, you will not see a slideshow. How do you make the slideshow? Well, we did this many times, but we'll do it again. Maybe you have a favorite album. Maybe you went on vacation. Here's one of my albums. I find what I want to put in my slideshow. I click on the first slide, or first picture, excuse me. And if I want to do 7 in a row, or whatever the number is, you hold down the Shift key. Now, you can't see that, but I'm holding down the Shift key, and I'll click on the last one. There's 8. Oh, I only wanted 7. Hold down the Command key to get rid of one you don't want. Maybe this one right here. There we go. Oh, wrong button. There we go. 8. And now we're down to 7. So the Command key will deselect or maybe add to it or not. There you go. Now that you've got these 7 photos selected, we went up to File. We went to Create. We moved over carefully to Slideshow. And it's a slideshow using our photos. So we click. New slideshow, yes. What do you want to call it? Murals version 2, just in case I have one already. I click OK. There it is. Now, notice it's down here in projects. I have a couple of them already. When I press play, it's playing music in my ears. I told it not to record music. It's now working. It did not work in class on Friday. I didn't do anything different. I'm going to stop the slideshow before I go deaf. Oh my gosh, that was good. So that's it. If you want to change the way it moves, in fact, I'm going to turn off music. Maybe you're not right now. If I want to change the way it navigates, Ken Burns, do a preview. It's playing the music in my ears. Ken Burns is a fade in, fade out. Origami, this is kind of cool. Preview. Kind of busy, but it works. Reflections, one picture at a time, preview. Again, music's playing in my ear. Notice the reflection at the bottom. You got to use these to remember them. Sliding panels, preview. Will be the last one. All right, we're done. Done preview. That was it. Slideshow. Why wasn't working on barbs? I'm not sure. We'd have to look at it more time, but that's that simple. That was it. Next thing we talked about, notes and folders. We have a lot of notes, and every note you make goes into iCloud. Whether they're garbage notes, as you can see, all these pieces of gibberish here. So I click a note, and I can just slide with my two fingers, trash can. Point to the note. I'm using two fingers on the trackpad, and I delete the note. And again, and one more time. I could have done a bunch at one time. Now, if you have a lot of folders like I do, that's what these are. These are folders that contain things related to the Keynote. Keynote is, of course, I shouldn't say of course, that's your presentation program. Here is a folder with things called Pages. This Pages, of course, is the application for word processing. So whenever you create a note, I'll do that right now. Make a new note. This is a new note, and it'll have stuff in it. I don't care what it has. All right, got a bunch of stuff in there. You made a note. It was today. I made notes yesterday and the other days. This is my new note for today. The count here is 20. All cloud is every single note you ever made. This is like a temporary place to keep notes. They, in theory, could be the same. But what I'm doing is I'm taking notes that I create and I'm making folders to put them in. How do I make a folder? You go to File, New Folder. And I'll just call this with a hyphen, Junk. Hyphens will go to the top. Junk Test Notes Folder. And I'm going to click OK. There it is. It's at the top, as I said. Notes are sorted alphabetically. By putting a hyphen, it went to the top of the list. So this note right here, test note, I'm going to take the number 20, notice 242. I'm going to click and hold and drag it to the junk folder. This is now 19. This is 1. This did not change. The idea is to perhaps organize your notes into folders. And I believe a lot of people like to know how to do that. I won't mention any names because you can't remember them, but I think most of you would like. You don't want to just have all your notes in one folder like this, all notes, 242. It gets a little bit busy. There's something else called smart folders. We didn't talk about this at all, but what I can do, if you recall the concept of tags, I can have tags in my notes. It's a fast way to filter those 242 notes by just tapping one little word, Durham. Well, look at that. This note has a tag called Durham. And all I had to do was come down to the section. I had to expand it first, right? You don't normally see things. And if you don't see things, it's because you have to click on that little triangle. And that triangle does not appear unless you move your mouse over a particular word, in this case, tags. Expand tags. This has been discussed already and a video has been made. This is just a review. There's a lot here that you might want to learn in some cases you don't care about. DD, downtown Durham, discover Durham. Notice how they're displayed. I want to change them to a list mode. Oh, there you go. You can't break anything, folks. Things just go to the trash or you just clicked on the wrong button. No harm, no foul. There you go. Maybe I want to look at a tag about files. Again, whatever it is. Things about my home, nothing there. Again, what now? You'll notice nothing's here, but notice all these are blue. I've got too many filters set. So I want to make sure I don't have multiple items selected, or else you'll see nothing. And that was the case a moment ago. I'm going to leave it at that. That's the end of the video. The key thing was screen capture, Command-Shift 4 versus Command-Shift 5, making folders in Notes, and maybe a review of tags in Notes. And those tags help drive what's called smart folders. So it's a program. It's easy to do. It's the same thing, but you don't have to go looking for the tags. The tags are basically programmed in these folders, and these folders are called smart folders. They have a little circle. If you want to learn more about smart folders, we can talk about it on Friday. But thanks for your attention today and in class on Friday, and hope we'll see you again this coming Friday. Stopping the video now. Thanks for your time.